Hello. So today's video is a brief demonstration of kind of a daily regimen that I would encourage you to implement into your daily routine, whether it be at night or daytime and nighttime would be great. If you can do it twice a day, I understand with people's schedule, but once a day is probably all you can fit in. This is something that I include into my nightly regimen. Not all of these exercises, kind of mix and match every day, but these are some good tools that you can use for your heel pain or for plantar fasciitis, basically heel pain and or plantar fasciitis. This is also something that I think could be very beneficial for those of you who may not be experiencing any heel pain and can just be used as a tool for prevention and also just to strengthen your feet and ankles and get more mobile, more flexible in the lower half. So I'm going to demonstrate those for you. I apologize if you can't see my face for some of it, as I want you to focus on the lower half, obviously. Okay? So, first things first, move these out of the way. I just want to demonstrate a couple things you can do. Turn this just this way. Just to warm up. Okay, so we're going to talk about, and I should have mentioned this, but we're going to talk about three kind of main categories of exercises that you can do to help your heel pain or your plantar fasciitis. Number one being stretching / mobility flexibility. Number two being deep tissue release, which has some overlap with stretching, obviously. And then number three being strength, so strengthening exercises. So first things first, we always want to warm up, kind of get the muscles moving, the feet moving, and get the blood flowing. So this is a good way to start. You're just going to simply sit on your heels, and we want to get our shins and our ankles as flat as we can on the ground here. Some people are kind of limited in their ankle flexibility. This will help with that. So we're just sitting on our heels for a few seconds and then switching up to the toes. Curl the toes under. Should get a nice deep stretch here. Feel that. Sit back on the heels, and then we're just alternating back and forth. And we're going to do that for a minute or two, just until the feet start to feel a little loose and warmer, okay? So that's a good way to start. Another good way to start is with kind of a funky exercise I call the toe crawl or toe walk. And I'm literally just kind of walking with my toes and my feet only here, not bending at the ankles, knees, or hips. And I know it looks funny and it may be harder for some, but just curling the toes and activating those little small muscles in the feet. And doing that for a couple minutes if you can tolerate. You actually get pretty tired with the toes here, so back and forth. Third one you can do is a little trickier, and it's just a slow kind of walk where we get up on our heel there and then out to the outside of our foot to the baby toe, work to the big toe, and we focus on keeping this arch engaged and then pushing off, going up onto one leg, pushing off, slowly landing with the other heel, working again from the outside in, pushing off, landing with one heel outside of the foot. Hopefully you can see that there. So we're landing slowly with the heel, outside of the arch, little toe to the big toe, maintaining that inner arch, and then going up onto one foot, keeping that arch engaged, and then landing again and repeating. That one's a little trickier, requires some balance and stability, but that's all good stuff for you. But again, it'll activate the muscles in the feet, get you warmed up, get you stronger. And then the other one I wanted to show you, a simple strength exercise. You can get a towel. I just have my sock here. Some therapists will have you use marbles, where you actually pick them up and put them into a cup or something. But you're simply just gonna, you can do this sitting or standing. Take the towel or the sock, curl your toes, pick it up. Curl your toes, pick it up. Curl it, pick it up. That simple. Do that for a couple minutes. Pretty boring, but maybe while you're watching TV or something. And that's just, again, activating those small muscles in our feet that we often don't use. And will help you gain some strength in those feet. as well. Okay? The next thing is going to fall into that deep tissue category, deep tissue release. So for this one, we just need a foam roller about 2 feet wide. I like ones with some texture, some knobs to get into the muscles a little better, get a little deeper release, but you can use a smooth foam roller as well. You've probably already seen this. I may have demonstrated this in the office. We're just sliding this all the way up into the crease in our knee, our popliteal fossa. And then we're gonna fall back and be in that same position with our ankles flat, or we're just gonna sit on the foam roller to tolerance. And if you can't put your whole weight on it, that's okay. But you wanna sit on it 15, 20 seconds or so until you start to feel those muscles release, especially in your calves, but also in your hamstrings. Get up, a little small turn, maybe a quarter turn or less. Same thing, 15, 20 seconds. And then we just slowly rotate all the way down, 15 to 20 seconds at a time, all the way to the Achilles. And then I usually repeat that maybe 2 to 3 times, depending on how tight I feel. Some other tools you can use. We have the stick, pretty popular with runners. You can find it on Amazon. Again, when you do this, you just want the ankle relaxed like this. So you can see my calf is nice and relaxed. If you have it up like this, it's going to be stiff. And then you just apply, firm pressure and roll out that calf. And this is good for, quads, hamstrings as well. Anything you can do, to loosen up your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, that's going to also aid in helping you with your heel pain. So just releasing that whole, what we call the posterior chain, is going to help a lot. I'm a big advocate for yoga, but I understand that's not for everyone. But if that's something you can incorporate into your routine, that's going to help a lot as well. Okay. A couple other tools I probably already showed you here in the office. We have our spiky little massage ball. You can get these on Amazon. We have our 2 lacrosse balls duct taped together to get this little peanut. You can just use a single lacrosse ball if you like. Only key to this is when you're rolling your feet out, and you can use these on your calves and hamstrings as well. But when you're rolling your feet out, we try to keep our foot nice and relaxed, okay? You can do this seated or standing. If you're seated, you're not going to be able to apply quite as much pressure, but when you're standing, you can get quite a bit more pressure. So I start up with the ball of foot nice and relaxed, and then just slowly work that down my fascia, arch, into the heel, okay? And repeat it a little bit more on the outside there. Do that for a couple minutes, or same thing with the lacrosse ball, right? I don't really need to demonstrate that for you, but lacrosse ball is going to be a little firmer, a little harder pressure, okay? And that's that. Finally, a tool I really love is a percussion massage device like this. This is the Hypervolt by Hyperice. They sell all kinds of knockoffs, but this is probably one of the more popular brands. And the way I really like to use this is in this position. You simply turn it on, start it up, and they have all kinds of attachments. This one's a little softer, a little more forgiving on the foot. And when we do this, I'll show you another stretch you can do like this, but we want to cross the leg and pull back on the toes. And when we do that, we're going to stretch out the fascia here. And then we just start at the heel. And you just work your way up. And kind of go in a couple different directions, work along that fascia there. And it's going to be really effective at just kind of warming it up and getting it loose. It feels really great. Okay? So that's a tool you can use. I don't expect everyone to buy one of these, but if you have one available, it can be very effective. So the alternative to that, which I probably showed you in the office, and is another key stretch, is when you first get out of bed in the morning, or before you go to bed at night, you can sit at the bedside. Probably want to have some lotion available. Lotion up the bottom of the foot and the heel here. But you're just going to pull back on those toes with the same arm as this leg. And you can see my plantar fascia here. That's the inner band of it. But you take that hand and a fist on the other side with the lotion, and you're going to apply firm pressure and just work up that fascia on the inside, kind of down the middle, on the outside, kind of across the heel, different orientations this way at an angle. And just do that for a couple minutes or 15 seconds, shake it out, do it again, repeat for a couple minutes, okay? And do it on the other side. Even if you're not having symptoms on the other side, you want to do these things on both sides, ideally, okay? And then finally, the stretch I probably already demonstrated for you as well is our wall stretch, okay? You can use a table if you don't have good wall space, but ideally a wall is ideal. Pretty simple. We're just lining up against the wall, leaning into it, getting as deep a stretch as we can on our calf. The farther back you go, the more of a stretch you're going to get. A couple key elements though. The main thing I find is people tend to kind of collapse in. So we want to make sure the foot's perpendicular to the wall, not turned out like this, not turned in, but perpendicular. And then the other key is when you lean in, is to people keep this foot out here, they tend to collapse. So just crossing it in line with the other foot or just over helps me kind of keep that arch up. I don't have much of an arch in my foot, but that's what we want to shoot for there, okay? And hold it there. We do it for about 12 to 15 seconds. Switch sides, 12 to 15 seconds, and you repeat that 10 to 12 times, ideally 2 sets a day of about 12 to 15 repetitions, or 10 to 12 repetitions. And there is a variation where you can actually do this with the knee bent. Okay, so you bend the knee a little bit, and that takes out one of the muscle groups in the calf and focuses on the other. Okay, so you can do that same thing with the knee bent, but I think it's fine to just do it with the knee straight. The other key is keeping the heel flat on the ground and not lifting the heel at all. Okay, so those are the key kind of exercises that I think will be helpful for you to include in your daily regimen. Again, we're covering that flexibility, stretching, mobility, and then deep tissue release and strengthening exercises. And I also have other videos that I posted to my Instagram account that you can find there to strengthen the toes and the feet, as well as the ankles. So you can check those out as well. And I'll be posting some other videos hopefully in the future here that might be helpful as well. All right, thank you. Hope that helps.